Diane and Denmark here, some midweek motivation for you today. I'm just back from Edinburgh visiting my mum, brought some goodies with me, we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about everything cozy minimalist, some books to share with you. Also for my cleaning this week, I'm doing something a bit different. And here in Denmark, we are coming up for Mother's Day or Moore's Day and my plans for that. But first up, let's talk about a visit to my mum in Edinburgh. Mum's doing really well. She is 86 years old. She's going to be 87 next week. And she has some memory issues. She can get a bit confused about things, but she's doing really well health-wise. She's got a really good appetite. And as usual, I took her out to her favourite place, a place that she and my dad would always go to, Cafe Andalus in Edinburgh on George Street. And I'll show you what we had to eat here. Mum, you're enjoying your food, and what have we got today? We've got the croquettes with ham and cheese. And then Mum's favourite, the mussels from Brussels. Black pudding. Yeah, mussels and white wine, your favourite, Mum. And then down here we've got some fries. Our favourite, Mum and I will be fighting over those, the fresh anchovies. And then chicken in a honey and mustard sauce. And some black puddings. Cheers! Cheers! Salute! Cheers to Mum. She's got a really good appetite and she loves a glass of white wine, especially with things like fish and chips. We were also out for the family having fish and chips. And I don't know if you noticed that Mum really likes her bling. She likes her bling jewellery and she's got a big bling watch. And she's really good in strong colours and busy print. She's a type 4-3 in the Dressing Your Truth system. And Mum had been a bit kind of upset because she couldn't find her engagement ring. It's not something she wears often because she's lost a lot of weight the past few years. But she likes to wear it if she's going out. So I helped her go through all of her jewellery. We also did things in her wardrobe. Things were getting a bit mixed up. Anyway, you'll see some of that in the next declutter video that I do on Monday. And we found some family heirlooms and she's handed some things onto me and the kids. Anyway, we had a fun time. And I also, from Edinburgh, I didn't really do any shopping this time, but I did bring back a couple of items. Bought this at the airport, some Edinburgh gin. Now this is made in Edinburgh, my hometown. And this one is more of a liqueur than a gin. This one is raspberry liqueur. I've had this before and quite often I take it when we're swimming with the Bluetits. If we're doing one of our moon swims, we'll have a little liqueur afterwards. And this one I thought we'd try this time because it was a special offer. You were getting 2 bottles. These are each 50 centilitres for £17 something, which is actually really cheap for liqueur or gin. And this one is elderflower liqueur. Now you know here in Denmark you can even see the elderflower bushes are beginning to bloom. We love elderflower here. We drink elderflower cordial all the time. It's a really popular Danish thing. So I'm really looking forward to trying that. I didn't bring home haggis this time. I've actually still got 3 tins of haggis in the drawer here. But I did bring home some black pudding because I'm really getting into black pudding. I don't know, you know, I'm 55 years old now. I think it's an age thing and it's full of iron, of course. Anyway, I had some of for my breakfast this morning. There's what it looks like, and you cook it and have it with fried eggs. You can also go very fancy and serve it with goat's cheese and stuff. I actually ate a lot of black pudding when I was in Edinburgh. So brought home black pudding. There's one there. And one of my favourite sweets, Scottish macaroon bars. Now, these are absolutely not healthy. It's basically just boiled sugar and milk. I'm not even sure what they're made of, macaroon bars. Sugar and butter, and then they cover it in a kind of chocolatey thing with some desiccated coconut. Anyway, I love macaroon bars, so I'm going to enjoy these the next couple of weeks. I like to break them into chunks and have a little bit with a cup of coffee or something. Ooh, macaroon bars. And also on this trip, I took the chance to go and meet up with a friend of mine. Now this is my friend Jill. This is us many years ago. There's me, there's Jill. And we have known each other since we started school together. We started school on the same day. We didn't know each other before school. We started school when we were 5 and we're now, well, Jill's just turned 56 and I'll be 56 in June. and we've known each other since we started school when we were 5. And we kept in touch over the years, and then the last few years we still would email each other, but I haven't physically seen each other, not since my kids were quite small and Jill and her husband came to visit us here in Copenhagen. So I went through to Glasgow. She lives in Glasgow now, no longer lives in Edinburgh. And I took the train through to Glasgow, and you can get the train from Edinburgh, the fast train to Glasgow, which takes an hour. And I was thinking it was quite funny because if you take the train here in Copenhagen, the fast train, you can be in Sweden, in Malmö, in 30 minutes. So it's quite funny the time it takes to get places. Anyway, it's an hour on the train from Glasgow, and I met Jill, and my mum said to me before I left, she said, "Do you think you'll recognise each other?" And I was like, "I don't think we've changed that much, Mum." And of course we met up, and we both, we think, look the same. We had a really nice lunch in the Ox and Finch in Glasgow, which is in the Kelvin Grove area. And it was just so funny to go down memory lane. And I had other photos with me from our school day. I want to show those. I don't want to embarrass Jill, but it was really nice to catch up, and a really good lunch there. So that was fun. Something else I did this time in Edinburgh, I joined up with the Edinburgh Bluetits. Now, you know, I swim with the Copenhagen Bluetits. You know, you've seen my videos, you've heard about the ice swimming, the winter swimming. Well, there are Bluetit groups all over the UK. There are also Bluetit groups in Australia, in the States, also I believe in New Zealand. There are Bluetits groups everywhere, and they have a Bluetits group in Edinburgh, and they swim from various locations in Edinburgh, but guess what, they swim at my local beach where Mum lives, at Portobello. They swim at the beach there. So I met up with the Bluetits on Saturday morning, and unfortunately the weather wasn't fantastic. It was kind of very dull and very misty and fog on Saturday morning, but it was just so nice to meet up with them. And you know, we're just all the same swimmers around the world. We quite often have ladies coming to join us if they're in Copenhagen, and they come and swim with Copenhagen Bluetits. So there we go. And then on to books, and kind of to do with Edinburgh as well. This is one that I got from our local Danish library. It's by Ian Moore, and I just like the title of it, Death and Croissant. And I'm not sure if somebody here, one of my lovely YouTube subscribers, recommended it, or how I heard about it, but I keep a running list of books which you mentioned to me, and then I keep checking out our local library, and they had this one, lightweight stuff, but the kind of thing that I enjoy. So I'm reading that right now, Ian Moore. And when I was over in Edinburgh, it was just me this time. Hubby couldn't come with me, but he did ask me to pick up a few books from. And one of his favourite bookshops in Edinburgh, or his favourite bookshop, is Topping and Company. So I went in there and I managed to pick up 3 books from. I'm kind of thinking, luckily they didn't have the 4th one because it was quite heavy to carry in my roll-on luggage. Henry VIII by Scarisbrick. There we go. Hubby reads completely different from me. Another kind of historical one, Janet Nelson, King and Emperor. If you wanted that one, they had it. And this one looks quite strange. Time Shelter by Georgie. Got speed on off. There we go. So that's what hubby is reading at the moment. And my husband, he likes to have the physical book and he likes to keep the book. I'm the complete opposite. I don't keep any books apart from the Andrea Camilleri, the Inspector Montalbano ones. I've got that and some P.G. Wodehouse. But all other books, I like to get them in the library and I like to pass them on again. So what's it like in your family? Are you the one likes to have lots and lots of filled bookshelves? I think it's really cozy for us. So we strike a good balance. And we'll talk about Mother's Day in a wee minute, but remember, everything in balance. How about the house? Are you keeping up with your daily routines? Remember, it's the daily routines that really keep us going, especially when things are tough. Maybe you're going through a period of grief. Maybe you are finding things very difficult as a carer. Maybe you're just getting back to work. Maybe you're coming back to work having had a time off with maternity leave. Just get into your routines, because it's the daily routines that really keep us going, keep us afloat. And talking about cleaning for this week, usually I remind you that you always start off with the weekly upkeep clean, you know, just setting your timer for 10 minutes and doing each of the things on the list, just in the main high traffic areas, not the whole house. And then after that, you do the zone cleaning. Well, I've been away in Edinburgh for a few days, and this week I'm doing a bit differently. And because I'm so consistent with the weekly cleaning, I'm not going to worry about too much about that right now. But what I do want to do is a bit of zone cleaning in the kitchen, because it is the spring, and I like to do a bit more in the springtime. So I'm going to be working on the kitchen this week, doing things like descaling the kettle and the coffee pot, giving the dishwasher a good clean out, looking into that filter that's hiding at the bottom, all those kind of small jobs. I like to get those done. So that's what I'm doing for my cleaning this week. And if you want any help, and if you want me to clean along with you, I've got playlists for each of the 5 Flylady Zones. If you want me to declutter along with you, more intense 15-minute videos, I've got plenty of those as well. And last but not least, it is Mother's Day here in Denmark at the weekend. And Mother's Day, there are different dates around the world. Mother's Day this weekend, I think, coincides with most of the European ones, though maybe the Swedish one is different. In the UK, they already had Mothering Sunday. That is linked to when Easter falls. So the date moves with that. Anyway, it's going to be Mother's Day here in Denmark the weekend. And instead of doing that martyr thing of like, oh, nobody ever remembers, I messaged the kids before I went to Edinburgh and said, oh, I would like this for Mother's Day. I'm not sure if I'll get it, but I've given them an idea, because I have a lot of pots of herbs on the windowsill, and usually I just use an arrangement of my IKEA pots. I'd seen something that was a container where I could get several of them in, and it has a watering system to make it a bit easier so you don't overwater. So I've asked for that. Let's see what I get. And the kids said they would like to take me out for lunch at the weekend, so there you go. So anyway, and if you don't have anybody to do things for you or whatever, please do something for yourself. Buy yourself a little bunch of flowers or your favorite candy bar. Just do something nice for yourself, okay? Promise me that. And I'm going off to get myself a cup of coffee, because while it was really nice to visit Mum and be over in Edinburgh, I'm feeling quite kind of tired since I came back. So I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I'm going to make my list, my weekly to-do list, you know, fill out my little chart. I'm going to go through that. That'll give me a little bit of peace in my head. I hope I've motivated you today. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, share with a friend. And all I've got left to say is live long and prosper. May the Danish spring hygge be with you. Look at that sunshine in the background. And I shall see you on Monday with a little declutter video showing some of the stuff from Mum's. Okay, bye for now. And a rah, rah, rah.